Hello Warriors and Guardians, it's me back online. So it's VE Day. I just wanted to talk about this kind of topic. I think it would be most fitting to talk about the wars, the soldiers on the front lines who sacrificed their lives, laid down their lives for future generations all those years ago, so that people like you and me could be able to enjoy a higher standard of living these days. And it's something we ought to be grateful for. I just wanted to offer a different perspective in this video. Instead of celebrating VE Day, I think it should be a day of remembrance, in the same way that we remember the fallen and honour them during D-Day, Remembrance Sunday on the 11th of November, and other anniversaries and remembrance days to honour the fallen during the First and Second World War throughout the year. I just wanted to offer this kind of perspective because the way that this country is going and the rest of Western civilization, the trajectory that we're heading in, it's looking quite grim. It's looking like we're heading in a dark direction. There's nothing much to celebrate these days, it seems like. And if there is anything to celebrate, for example, St. George's Day, we get labelled racist, far right, Nazi, all kinds of terms just levied against our communities, and especially against white people with an Anglo-Saxon heritage. It's just totally unfair, totally unjust. We live in a very what's the word, topsy-turvy world. Yeah, so to remember the fallen, I think to mark this as a day of remembrance, for me, it just it makes me feel grateful for the things that I currently have. And it's very important to be grateful. It says in the Bible to give thanks to God, to the Lord, for providing us with food, with shelter, with everything that we have in our daily lives that we often take for granted. Give thanks to the Lord in the book of Psalms, the book of Proverbs, constantly mentions giving, the essence of giving thanks and being grateful for what you have. But what's also important about being grateful, about having that sense of gratitude and reminding ourselves to remember these sorts of things, and to remind ourselves every day that we should be content and grateful for what we have. It also steers us into a more of a positive direction, not just in our personal lives, but also for the communities around us. Lately I've been sort of getting into this kind of negative headspace with the way that the country is going, and it's not always very healthy to go in this sort of direction, to be constantly negative and scrolling through X and YouTube looking at negative headlines. I think it can tempt us into behaving in very irrational ways, and tempting us into corrupting ourselves. The Bible does talk about this quite a lot, that each and every one of us, we are sinners. We are nothing but wretched, imperfect sinners who have fallen short of the glory of God. And the most important thing for us is to acknowledge that we, as individual human beings, each and every one of us, are capable of inflicting terrible harm, pain and suffering towards others, towards ourselves as well. The way that if you go into studying the history of how the Nazi regime came to be, very ordinary people leading ordinary lives suddenly became Nazi prison guards in the Auschwitz concentration camps, and you can just see the timeline from becoming this ordinary person into this evil monster. And a lot of movies reference this in our entertainment industry as well, that storyline. The Joker film by Joaquin Phoenix, that's very classic. Well, it's more of a modern movie, but there's a lot of movies and stories that talk about this transitioning of the character. Breaking Bad, most notably, from a protagonist slowly building his character towards a more of that antagonistic character. So it's very important for us to acknowledge we're not perfect. Each and every one of us, we're very capable of turning to corruption, turning to wicked ways, turning to the wiles of the devil. So it's very important to put on the whole armor of God, focus on the positive, be grateful for what you have, be grateful for the people who fought on the front lines, who sacrificed their lives to fend off this wicked Nazi regime. They were truly terrifyingly evil, and it's important to remember that. So once again, happy VE Day. I just wanted to keep it short. Be sure to comment down below what you think. It's Guardian Mode clocking out.